So guys, in this next story, a shotgun killer waited outside an innocent father of two's home for nearly 10 hours before he blasted him in the face and poured acid over his body after his girlfriend lied that he had done the word begin with R to her on a Tinder date. Drug dealer Michael Hillier tracked down Liam Smith, who's 38, to his home in Wigan, Greater Manchester last November in a depraved murder plot hatched by him and his girlfriend, Rachel Fulstow. Hillier, who's 39 years old, said he was acting in revenge after his girlfriend Fulstow told him she had been, with the word beginning with R, by Mr. Smith years earlier during a Tinder date. She did not go to the police, and instead the pair decided to seek vigilante justice by planning Mr. Smith's death over a 10-month period. After the gruesome murder, Hillier and Fulstow went on a 2-week holiday to Jamaica in a bid to avoid justice. When the killers returned home, the net began to close. Hillier was arrested and Fulstow was initially treated as a witness before becoming a suspect after she repeatedly lied to police during an interview. Hillier and Fulstow have now both been found unanimously guilty of murder after a 6-week trial at Manchester Crown Court. CCTV footage from the incident after a jury found them both guilty of Mr. Smith's murder. The 4 shared house surveillance video collected from the victim's home, a bin wagon and an Asda delivery van had captured Hillier's vehicle outside Mr. Smith's residence on the day of the murder. Hillier waited by Mr. Smith's house for almost 10 hours before he got out of the car and murdered him. Police say they connected Hillier to the case because of the license plates associated with the vehicle, R22ORA, which had been recorded in the footage. A few weeks into their investigation, the force was contacted by South Yorkshire Police, who revealed they had stopped a vehicle 3 weeks before Mr. Smith's killing that had the plates inside. Investigators said that information is what really unraveled this case and ultimately led to Mr. Smith's killers. Hillier, who was handcuffed in the dock, stared over at his former partner as the verdicts were returned today. 2 jurors appeared tearful after coming back to court after 6 hours of deliberations. The court heard Fulstow met Mr. Smith on a dating app, Tinder, and the pair went on a date in York in 2019 where she said they had non-consensual sex at a hotel in York. She did not describe it as the word beginning with R and said she went for lunch with Mr. Smith the following day. In 2021, she began a relationship with Hillier but said he could be verbally abusive and unpredictable and was not happy that she had a one-night stand with Mr. Smith. She told the court the first she knew of the attack on Mr. Smith was when Hillier turned up at her house the following morning and told her. Fulstow, who's an international travel and tourism management graduate from Leeds Met University, said she was petrified to go to the police about her boyfriend. The court heard the couple then went on a holiday to Jamaica together days after the killing. Hillier, who told the court he was involved in a large-scale cannabis operation, said they had both planned the attack on Mr. Smith after Fulstow discovered she had been the word beginning with R by him, and he said, "We decided jointly between the two of us that we would deal with the matter ourselves and seek justice ourselves and go down the vigilante route." He said it's not surprising given only 1.6% of all reported cases make it to court. Hillier alleged he and Fulstow had bounced around ideas about how to carry out the attack on Mr. Smith. He said she most definitely saw me as her kind of knight in shining armour. He told the court during the trial that he had modified a blank firing gun but believed it would only stun rather than seriously injure or kill. Hillier added on the day of the attack, Fulstow packed him a lunchbox full of food supplies as well as his diazepam, hydration tablets and headache tablets. He told the court he had driven from his home in Sheffield to Shevington where Mr. Smith lived on the morning of November the 24th and waited there all day before the attack at around 6:40 in the evening. Hillier said he had approached the house because he was not sure if Mr. Smith was at home and after seeing him inside, returned to his Mitsubishi Shogun vehicle, which Mr. Smith approached a few minutes later. He said when Mr. Smith approached the car, he opened the door and called him a vile, disgusting. He added he knew exactly what I was talking about. The public gallery in court was cleared during his evidence as members of Mr. Smith's family reacted to his description of the victim. Judge Maurice Green told jurors they did not need to decide what happened between Mr. Smith and Fulstow. During his summing up, he said, as to what really happened on the night, we will probably never know and it probably doesn't matter. The court heard Mr. Smith was lured out of his house at around 6:40 by Hillier, who shot him in the face before pouring acid onto his face and body, followed by soda crystals. Recovered phone evidence showed that Fulstow made several internet searches in the days following the murder, firstly for information about the murder, and then the meaning of the word premeditated and does acid corrode stainless steel. On the morning of the killing, she checked the weather in Wigan. The court heard, and Fulstow was also found guilty of charge with perverting the course of justice. So during the trial, the court heard that there was a gun used in the attack which has never been recovered, and it was allegedly a blank firing pistol bought by Hillier for around £140 from a gun shop in Nottingham in October last year, which was a month before the killing. The court was told the weapon had then been modified so it could fire a projectile and was armed with an 8mm steel ball bearing and lead shot before being used to shoot Mr. Smith in the face. In covert recordings taken in prison and played to the jury, Hillier is said to say, "We both wanted him to suffer, but that his intention was not to kill." He added, "It was basically to maim him, disable him, and then pour acid on his face to disfigure him so he was scarred for life, like she was scarred for life." DCI Gina Brennan of Greater Manchester Police's Major Incident Team detailed the police investigation, how they rumbled the plan. She said, "This was a proper whodunit from the start, where I had a victim that we knew nothing about, no witnesses, no suspects, no weapon, no motive, and very little evidence to go on." She said CCTV footage, some from Liam, the victim's home address itself, and some from a bin wagon and a delivery van, captured the vehicle driven by the suspect Michael Hillier on the day of the murder. What that showed us is that the car was outside Liam's home address for almost 10 hours before he got out and murdered Liam. She said, "We knew the build-up in that we knew the movements of the vehicles and we knew the obtaining of license plates and we knew how Liam had been killed, but we did not know who'd done it." A couple of weeks into the investigation, we received intel from South Yorkshire Police that a vehicle had been stopped 3 weeks before Liam was murdered, and in that vehicle were the license plates R22 ORA. It was that really unravelled this case, and the thread that you pull after that was a house of cards that led to one person to another, to CCTV, to Michael Hillier, to Rachel Fulstow. After the murder, Hillier and Fulstow enacted an elaborate plan to avoid justice, and days later they went on a 2-week trip to Jamaica. And when they returned home, we began to close the net. She also added, "Our investigation team has worked tirelessly over the past 8 months to find answers for Liam's family, and hopefully the decisions in court today will give them some form of closure. This case has shown a number of complexities throughout, with Liam's name being tainted in the process and him not being here to defend himself against accusations that have been really difficult for the family to hear in court." She said, "I would like to thank our partners in the CPS and Prosecution Council who have helped secure this outcome, and our thoughts always remain with Liam's family through this devastating time." Rebecca Macaulay Addison for the Crime Prosecution Service Northwest Complex Casework Unit said, "Hillier and Fulstow planned the brutal murder of Liam Smith and attempted to cover their tracks at every stage. Far from being racked with guilt following the murder, the pair flew out to Jamaica on a holiday for 2 weeks. However, the CPS worked with Greater Manchester Police to piece together evidence including eyewitnesses' testimony, CCTV, extensive mobile phone evidence and medical evidence to bring a strong case to put before the jury, and the jury agreed with the prosecution and found them both guilty of murder. I hope that Liam's family and friends can be some comfort in knowing his killers have been brought to justice, and my thoughts remain with them." So I just want to say rest in peace, Liam, and my condolences go out to your family. So guys, I'm making this video tonight, Wednesday night. I'm going to be uploading it because I'm away, but I believe sentencing is going to be happening on Thursday. Obviously, I won't be able to do that. Obviously, I won't be able to report that because I'm going to upload it now. Obviously, I won't be doing that. So it's believed that sentencing is going to be happening tomorrow. Obviously, I'm uploading the video today, but I made it yesterday. So with regards to the sentencing, I won't be able to let you know in this video what it is, but once I do find out, I'll put it in the description below so you can see it there. But it's believed that they're going to be getting the mandatory life sentence. What minimum time they get, again, I'll put it in the description below. Once again, rest in peace, Liam, and my condolences go out to your family. It's your boy GC. Keep it locked, keep it real.